This is the Say It Can't Gamer, and you are live with the MMA-Holes!
Mixed martial a-holes. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes. You like to be a mixed martial a-hole. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes.
Boom, 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 boom.
No way.
Oh!
Yes! That's right! We are here, we are live from the Queen Studios of New York. UFC 226 Fight Week. Justin the Fort Sumter, live on the MMA-Holes. Here we go. Ready? MMA Holes! Yes! What a shit show. Oh my God. Justin, what's going on, man? How's it going today?
Good, man. Just got done training. Got some hard work done today, so just relaxing right now, ready to hit the sack and start the day over again.
There we go. Now, Justin, it's good to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Contender Series has themselves a stud. The end of this month, it is July, right? July 31st. Wow, the end of this month, you will be competing on the Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. This is exciting stuff. People in the chat right now are like, Fort, let me get a Fort in the chat right now. As you are going to, in front of Dana White, we've been talking about this before, and now it is getting closer. It's the month of, and you look calm again. Calm, cool, collective as usual, Justin. What is the feelings now going into finishing off this training camp, going into this fight on July 31st?
I'm just feeling, I'm feeling real good. My body's feeling good. And like when I'm training, I'm just, trying to, push everything to the next level. I'm already in good shape. I'm already doing the things I'm supposed to. I'm just, every day I'm trying to take it to that next level. And, just so I can be that specimen when I step in there, ready for whatever comes.
Now, I am looking at your Instagram. I'm going to pull it up over here on the MMA-Holes Live. That's you again. Let's do this. All right. Yeah, there's a million technical difficulties tonight. It's wonderful, wonderful. Oh, my God. So here's the deal, Justin. I got to say, when we were, this weekend, we were doing some gaming streams. By the way, you still playing some of those video games?
What games?
Any Fortnite or any of that stuff?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm going to go upstairs because I think I get better reception upstairs because the mic's cutting in and out. But I'm going to still be here.
All right.
So I'm just going to walk
house
with you
tour.
guys.
House
you guys
tour.
Take a tour of my house.
Yes, as you give a house tour, I'm going to try to get this damn thing. What the fuck is up with my... All right, that's Justin. There's Justin giving a house tour.
Now
right
we
over
are
there.
in the hallway, guys,
Ooh,
where we walk
yes.
into a dark room.
That's very nice, that hallway.
Still walking into a dark room and walking into more dark rooms.
Mhm.
Because apparently Justin doesn't like to use lights.
Well,
Now
it says car. All right.
All right, there's a chat room. All right, so what I'm trying to do...
now, this is the chair, the MMA hole chair. So
The MMA
this
hole
is where
All right.
all the
Here we go.
happens.
All right, there we go. Okay, so here's the deal, Justin. I'm losing everything here tonight. It's a disaster. Anyway, I have on the screen right now you at the UFC Performance Institute. Hello. And this is interesting stuff. I want to get, maybe if you could walk us through what happened over here. Now, they sent you over to do some promo videos. I have on a screen right now you throwing some punches in the air, and this must have been something else. I'm going to play right here. There you go, swinging away at the UFC Performance Institute. It looks like it was a wonderful, wonderful time over there. So now explain what happened. You got sent over to the facilities over there to do some promo stuff?
Yeah, so what they did was, they flew me out Wednesday. All my, things, the promo, video shoot, photographers, everything happened on Thursday. So, they wake up and we get sit in the room. They ask us what color we want, what size our clothes are. Basically the simple stuff, and then they go into the They shut me down. The facility, the UFC facility, besides the fact of the Performance Arts Institute, not the Performing Arts, the PI, Performance Institute, whatever. It's really cool. Like, it's the atmosphere is like very laid back. You know what I mean? Like, everyone was just chilling there. And I was like, man, that's a place I want to work. You know? So it was pretty cool being in their offices, aside from the Performance Institute. But the Performance Institute was like phenomenal. They had like everything you could want from like they had where you lift weights. They have these floor plates where they can actually gauge your movement. So if you need to correct something, they have a camera that actually like gives you a diagram of your body, and you can actually like find the minor discrepancies, so you can like alter them to make it into, you know, a perfect exercising. So that was pretty cool. They have an awesome lunchroom, by the way. Like the food was pretty good. Yeah, after that, then they did some shoots, just some video shoots of, you know, of me like working out, hitting the bag, throwing punches, hitting mitts and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. You know what I mean? Just that aspect of seeing the other side, because you always see the finished product on TV, and seeing how they kind of get there from all that stuff. Because I was literally for about like 3 hours maybe, them just shooting video of me like hitting pads, working out, and you're probably only going to see like maybe a minute, 2 minutes of that. So just seeing the process, well, being part of the process of how they make those 2 minutes that show on TV is pretty cool.
Now, when you got there, and we're live with Justin the Fort Sumter, 6-1 pro fighter, fighting on the Contender series, and we can't wait to do a live reaction to that thing. When you got there, what was it like? Like, you walk into this place, and finally, the dreams are coming true, right? Like, you walk in, you open the doors, you walk in. Did you just get chills? Did chills just run down your spine as you walk into the facility?
Well, not really. You know what I mean? It was kind of nostalgic. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, man, you know, this is what I've thought about, you know, for the last 7 years. This is where I wanted to be. And, you know, kind of everything's falling into place. So, you know what I mean? I kind of felt like I deserved to be there. You know what I mean? I worked hard to do everything that I had to do to get there. So, you know what I mean? It was kind of like a pat on my back, per se, you know, saying that, hey, I did everything right. I did everything I was supposed to. And I am, you know, the world's going to see why I think I'm the best, and I will be the greatest. So that was pretty cool.
Now, I noticed this. We're looking through your Instagram over here, and you can follow Justin the Fort Sumter at Fort Sumter MMA on IG, on Twitter, all over the goddamn place. Go check him out. Give him a follow. Now, if you look at your Instagram, I'm going to go back to your Instagram over here as I'm having some awesome times. Here we go. If you go over here now, you are with some interesting people over here, some UFC fighters. You got JoJo over here, who looks completely different in this picture than she usually looks. Yeah. She's supposedly a sweetheart in real life. How is she?
Yeah, she was like the sweetest person I've ever, you know, like, I probably met sweeter people, but just her personality, and she was like the sweetest. She kind of played a joke on me and my friend, like, because literally when you go in the Performance Institute, it's like there's a lot of doors. Mm-hmm. And so we were looking for this one place, and we were going back and forth. And she was like, oh, no, it's this way. And then, like, we were walking, and she was like, nah, just playing, it's this way. And, like, her accent is pretty, like, she has the sweetest voice with the Irish accent. Mm-hmm. It's just like, you know, it's real cool.
Yeah, she seems very soft-spoken, and she seems like such a sweetheart. It's crazy how much she's a killer inside that cage.
I know. Like, talking to her, I was like, man, she beats up people. You know? So it's pretty cool.
Now, going through this even some more, and here you are with Francis Ngannou. Jesus Christ. And I have to say this. You guys don't look much different in size here. I swear to God, Francis Ngannou, now I know he lost a little bit of weight. He says he was trying to cut down a little bit. But you guys look around the same size over here. What did it feel like putting your arms around this monster of a fighter?
Well, it felt good, you know what I mean? Because, like, in your head, you kind of build pictures of people, and like especially the heavyweight fighters. You're like, oh man, you know, these guys are like huge. These guys are the biggest in the world. But you know, when I went up to get with them, and I was like, man, you know, he's not really that big. He's not really that bigger than me. So that was definitely a a shock because I was like, because me and my teammate Costa, we were warming up, getting ready for the shoot, and out of the corner of my eye, you see this guy wearing this like white shirt with these white shorts and like with a necklace. And I was like, what? That's Francis Ngannou. I was like, Francis, and he was like, hey, and then I was like, hey man, can I take a picture? And like, he's a really nicest dude. He actually high crotched Uriah Faber. Uriah Faber was in the gym with us, and he high crotched him and put him over his head.
Oh, that must have been a sight. I mean, talk about two completely drastic differences in size. Francis Ngannou and Uriah Faber. That must have been hilarious. So
Yeah.
what is this like? This place seems to me like the chocolate factory. Like it feels like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Like you're a kid going in here and it's like a candy store. Like where it's just like UFC fighters all over the place. These people that you see on TV and now they're just walking around over here. It's got to be something else. How do you keep your composure? Do you just walk around and be like, I belong here? Is that how this works? Or deep down are you like a big kid?
Well, you know what I mean? Deep down, I'm like, man, let's just like, I'm like super excited. Like, look at all this. But, you know, like I keep my composure. I kind of, you know, tone it in, and I'm like more or less ready to, you know, take that responsibility, ready to kind of know that I belong there, know that, July 31st, I'm going to get that shot and get that contract, you know. So like everything I'm doing, I know I'm supposed to be doing. I know I'm supposed to be there. So that's the kind of feeling I'm feeling.
We are live with Justin the Fort Sumter, front of the MMA-Holes 6-1 fighter, and he is on a 6-fight win streak going into the Contender series. Now, it's time to talk a little bit of business here, okay? I looked through the Tapology. I did a little bit of research. I'm going to put this on the screen right now. And you have not only are you going to be on the Contender series, but we were looking into your opponent over here, and they did not line you up against any layup. Okay, we are going over here. This Ian Heinisch, this man over here, a muscular young man who is 10-1. His last 2 fights were finishes, and he looks to be a very dangerous guy. It looks to be a striker as well. What can you say about your opponent?
I know Ian. He's he's a well-rounded guy. He's a good guy outside of the cage as well. I know he definitely likes to bring the fight and kind of pressure guys, but this is just a different matchup and a different skill set that I possess that I don't think he's gonna. Oh shoot, that light's in the way.
It's
give me a.
You have like a halo. It's like you're in heaven. There you go. Looks good.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I think I match up very well. You know, he's fought taller guys, but they haven't been, my stature. Because I think, as you can see, I'm a bigger middleweight. You know, like I stood up against I stood up against a light heavyweight and the heavyweight fighter, and I look like I belong in their weight classes. And I'm fighting at 85, so I'm definitely a bigger guy, have longer reach, definitely quicker, and definitely going to bring more power. So this is just ultimately a really good matchup. Granted, he has really good wrestling. He has a powerful overhand, but just with my range and my skills, I don't think it poses too much of a problem.
It is interesting. He is at 5'11", and you have a 9-inch reach advantage on the guy. If these stats are correct,
actually, I have a 10-inch reach advantage, but my shoulder, when they were doing the measurements, it was kind of my shoulder wasn't as long. I got it worked on by the lady at the Performance Institute, and so I definitely got an inch. But it can say whatever. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah. Now here you got to think, if he does have some sort of wrestling background and he is shorter in stature and the reach, you got to think he's going to be keeping it close and he's going to try to grind on you in this. But regardless, looking at the matchup, it's really fascinating because both of you guys know how to take a fight home and finish a fight, and you got to think there's going to be fireworks in this fight on July 31st. Justin, knowing this man, knowing how he's performed, being inside the UFC Institute, now do you have a feeling, do you have a more of confidence going into this fight?
Oh yeah, extremely confident. You know what I mean? Like, I did some slight pass-bys by him, and one thing that stood out was, like, when I was leaving, the driver that drives everybody around, he was like, oh, what's your name? And then I was telling him my name. It was like, oh, you're fighting? And I was like, yeah, I'm fighting Ian Heinisch. And he was like, oh, He was like a shorter guy, and he was like, yeah. Oh, he said he saw you in the hallway and you were scared. So ultimately, I know from that point that he believes like a fallacy per se, or there's something inside of him that thinks at this level people are scared. You know what I mean? Because I fight like it's my job basically now. So when I step in the cage, there's no like ulterior feelings. I'm just going in there to do work. So it's not it's not that oh, you have good skills. Hey, I have good skills too. I'm gonna put them together. And so just having that mindset, it's kind of a done deal in my head.
Do you find if fighters do that, if they're like, oh, he's scared, and they kind of talk some weird trash talk, do you feel that they indeed are just showing that they're the ones that are a little nervous going into a fight like this?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, because there's really no point. Like knowing me since I became pro, like there's no point in saying someone's like scared or someone's frightened. You know what I mean? It's why there's really no point. Mm-hmm. So you trying to impose your thoughts on somebody else is kind of a self like reflection of what you feel. You're trying to impose on them to make yourself comfortable.
I've noticed with the Contender series, I've been really paying attention to it, especially ever since we found out that you and congratulations to you getting on this. Nick Newell as well getting on. It's great stuff. FAA, they're pouring out talent, and getting into the UFC is a big deal. But what I've noticed with the Contender series is these shows seem to be one way, okay? And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but it looks like they have a guy that they're pushing or a girl that they're pushing, and then they have the other one. You ever notice this? Have you watched like Antonia from Shevchenko, right? She's going through.
Yeah, that was a given. Like as soon as they put that name on, I was like, oh, they're gonna. But the other girl, she was kind of tough. You know what I mean? I don't say they don't use all of their I might get this. Because that's bothering me, because I can see it in the background.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, that's better.
Looking good.
Yeah, like, oh, shit.
Don't worry, I'm having technical difficulty. This is just one of them days. I'm just glad to have you on here. So, but go ahead, finish that thought. We can actually see you pretty good over here. Doesn't look that bad.
Yeah,
you got like a nice backlight
right there.
Yeah.
All right. But I'm not saying they give them layups. Mm-hmm. But they definitely give them the upper hand when they come to publicity. When they say that this is who we're going for, but we're not going to give you an easy fight. So that's kind of their prerogative in how they want to go with things.
Mm-hmm. Do you think listen? Do you think that this is like one of the guys? He's 10-1, right? He's got some finishing power. He's got the look, right? He's got that weird look that the UFC seems to go for, right? Muscular guy, Caucasian, like this bullshit. Do you think that they're trying to push this kid? Be honest, Justin. Do you have a chip on your shoulder right now?
Not really. I mean, I was thinking, because that's LFA is one of Maynard's childs. He recently sold it, but they're doing pretty good. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking, that's probably one of the guys that they're looking at to kind of push forward a little bit, give them a bigger nudge. But this was a wrong matchup to give them if they're planning on doing that. But it's it is what it is. I'm just gonna go in there and fight. There's no hard feelings towards him or kind of the publicity they give him, because I'm going to do the same thing. Even if they gave me the publicity, I'm still going to go in there and do the same thing. So,
well, I've seen you, and I know you're a scary man. I look at this guy's record, right, and he comes in as a pro. He wins 8 in a row. He loses 1, then 2 in a row. It finishes over here. So not taking anything away from this guy, he definitely seems dangerous. No matter who you step in the cage with, it doesn't matter if people say they're a quote-unquote can or whatever. They're dangerous, right? Everyone is dangerous when they step into that cage, so you can't take anyone lightly. But let's be honest here. We're talking to the Fort. We are talking to Justin the Fort Sumter here, a goddamn MMA hole. Now, I don't know. I don't think anyone should take you lightly, Justin, all right? Now, look into that camera. Now, we know this man is watching, right? He's probably watching Ian Heine, whatever the hell his name is. Look into that camera, and you strike fear in Ian's eyes right now on the MMA Holes. See?
I don't really have an intimidating face. I don't think. Yeah.
Do you guys have is there like a stare down or something like that with the Contender Series, or they basically just throw you guys in to the fight?
I don't know. I don't think there is, because I haven't seen pictures of it. Because usually they take pictures, but the only thing I've seen is just the weigh-in photos and stuff. So I don't believe they will do the face-off.
So let's see. The fight's over. You finish him, right? You look over to the cage. Now, what is going to happen here? I noticed all the coaches like, go over to Dana White. Is that what you're going to do? Are you going to jump to that cage and stare at Dana White and be like, what are we doing here? Are you going to do that, or how's this going to work?
Nah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, all I need to say is basically in the cage. You know, whatever I do is in the cage. So, you know, hopefully, I'm not going to sway his opinion by me going over there and trying to talk to him. I think most of my talking comes in the fighting. So, you know, hopefully if I feel it, I feel it. You know what I mean? If we like guys, and I'm gonna do the old shoot 'em up. You know, but, you know, other than that, I kind of play that by ear. You know, if I feel it, I feel it. If I don't, I don't.
And one thing we've noticed is you are a class act. Every time you're in that cage, you do your job, you get it done quick, and you're a class act no matter what. As much as we try to push you in the direction of being an asshole, you're really not. I mean, so that's respect to you for that. Now, this fight is coming. Justin the Fort Sumter is going to be fighting July 31st on the Contender Series. Do you know where you stand on that? On the night where you're going to be fighting on that?
Nah, I do not know exactly where. I'm trying to find my computer. Yeah, I do not know exactly where I will be at. So, you know, hopefully I'm the first fight, because, you know, I hate waiting. I'm the most impatient person in the world. Hopefully I fight the first, so that way I can relax and just chill, because I got a couple of friends that are fighting that night as well. So
on the same Contender Series?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Good stuff. Is Nick fighting on the same card?
No, he's fighting on the week before.
Oh, okay. So now, how does this work? First of all, is Nick going to be in your corner for this?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. All right, great. Now, are you going to be flying in for Nick, or?
Nah, just because of work. You know, I got to take the days off for the fight, so I won't be able to make it.
Good stuff over there. Now, what do you think with Nick Newell? I think they named his opponent. I'm not sure if they named him yet.
Alex Munez or something, I believe.
Okay, so now let's talk about Nick. Now, if you're not familiar, Nick Newell is a badass, 14-1 pro fighter. He is the leader of FAA over there. He is basically the head honcho over there, and he is Justin the Fort Sumter's right-hand man, right? I guess you could say that. And both of you guys get called onto the show. Now that it's getting closer, are you guys talking any smack? Is there any smack going back and forth? Or are you just pushing each other and supporting each other?
Just pushing support, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know, now it's like go time. You know, we're working hard. We're doing everything that we've been doing, and just taking it to that next level. So all we do is, you know, train and push each other. You know, if someone's slacking, we kind of, hey, you know, push it up. Hey, take it, you know, step up and do what you're supposed to do. So, you know, we can go in there and get those 2 contracts.
There you go. All right, Justin the Fort Sumter live in the MMA-Holes Big Fight Contender Series. I cannot wait to watch this. Now, Justin, let's open some phone lines and see what these peeps. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to talk to a future UFC star right here, a goddamn champion. Where do you see yourself, Justin? Let's see. Now, I like to always ask the fighters, what do you see yourself at the end of the year, 2018? Where do you see Justin the Fort Sumter?
I see with you know, this UFC contract and one win in the UFC by the looking for December, you know, a fight in December, you know, but I don't want to look too far ahead, but yeah, a fight in the December for the UFC. So
you're on the Contender Series. They give you a contract, of course, and you fight on the card with McGregor and Khabib. What do you say about that?
I mean, that'll be a good card to step on. You know, hopefully I get enough publicity about this where I can get the main event for the prelims. That'll be dope. Yeah, that would be a dope card.
Yeah, Justin the Fort Sumter, I cannot wait. Now let's open up the phone lines at 516-522-0267. Get in on the lines with Justin the Fort Sumter. We're going to take a couple of calls. Going on to the Contender Series, July 31st. Exciting stuff. He went to the UFC Performance Institute. Here we go. 613, you are live with the MMA-Holes and Justin Sumter. All right. Bye-bye. They just vanished. All right. 516-522-0267. Give us a call with Justin of Fort Sumter going to the Contender Series. So there's a bunch of people you met at the facility over there. Uriah Faber, how is he? Is he cool in person?
Yeah, he's real cool. He's real cool. Like it was funny. Like I didn't know who Nick was fighting at the time, but I saw him like we pop out of the elevator, and then, like we both turned. We pop out of the elevator. He's in one elevator, I'm in the other, and he turns before I get around the corner.
Hold on.
Like, that guy looks awfully familiar, and I was like, wait a minute, that's somebody. And then I sat down and I saw his face, and I was like, oh, that's Uriah Faber. So we started talking, and he was like, cool. And he was like, where are you training at? And then I was like, oh yeah, I train with Nick Newell in Connecticut. And he was like, oh, it was like he kind of stuttered a little bit, and then I was like, wow, that's a little weird. We were just having a plain conversation, but it turns out his guy's fighting my coach. So
get out of here.
It didn't get super strange, but yeah.
No kidding. So his guy's fighting Nick. Oh, this is gonna be good, huh? So he's like, oh, enemy territory. Let's try to be civilized here. You should have beat him up in the hallway. That probably wouldn't have worked out too well, right? If you just laid him out.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
All right, 516-522-0267. Jessie, what do you think about this? Justin going to the Contender Series. How excited are you to watch the Fort?
I'm extremely excited, especially since he was one of the first interviews that you had on the show.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. That's extremely exciting.
All right. 613, you're live with the MMA-Holes and Justin the Fort Sumter. What's your name and what's on your minds? All right, so the phone lines are fucked up. All right. All right, so screw the phone lines. This is just a night of technical difficulties. Anyway, if you have any questions, I'll read it from the chat. We're going to go a couple more minutes and I'll let you go. You just came back from training, correct? Now, what is the deal with the weight cut? How's the weight cut going?
Oh, it's going good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting low 200s. So I'm trying to get down to like 95 next week and coast the rest of the way. And then looking to probably be within 5 pounds, 5 to 7 pounds a week of, and then I should be good.
All right, so that's good. And you always make weight, right? You never really have problems when it comes to the $185.
Nah, you know, sometimes, you know what I mean, I make it a little bit harder, but I always make weight, you know, eat some Cheez-Its here and there, but, you know.
A true professional. Now, what do you think about the weigh-ins? They said at UFC 226, they said that the weigh-ins are still going to be in the morning. Dana White was saying that they were going to have it in the afternoon. He had enough. And then all of a sudden, boom, this week, fight week, the Ultimate Fighter finale and the UFC 226, we're going to have morning weigh-ins. What do you think about that situation?
Well, I love morning weigh-ins. You know what I mean? Like, that's more time to rehydrate. You know what I mean? Like, I'm usually on weight the day before, the night before. So, you know what I mean? That's perfect for me. You know, I cut the weight, make sure everything's right, go weigh in the morning, and then I'm set.
There you go. All right, so Justin, I'm excited about this. I can't wait. We will do a proper fight reaction to this. And you're saying Nick is going to be the week before. So basically, it's going to be a 1-2 punch of FAA on the Contender Series. What is the odds that both of you get a contract for the UFC?
Extremely in our favor.
There you go.
High odds. You know what I mean? Like, because I definitely think Nick's been training his whole life for this. You know, I mean, not to say like this is the pinnacle, but you know, like he's prepared for it. You know what I mean? He's fought like the top guys, and you know, some of those guys like Justin Gaethje are top in the UFC. So you know, it's a real guy. I'm just excited to see him fight in front of, so everybody else can see what I know. You know, I know he's good. I know he's an awesome fighter.
I think it's back open and running again. Okay, great. So Justin, you know what? This is the thing. Anytime they say when you get married, right, and it rains, they say it's good luck. Love about the whole Gaethje thing is the connection to Nick Newell. And for some reason, I'm seeing something here. I am seeing Gaethje just catching a bunch of L's, Nick Newell getting into the UFC and getting a rematch and beating him this time. What do you think the odds of something like that happening?
I've actually been thinking about that myself. You know what I mean? I think it's highly likely that could happen. Just the way, you know, how things work and how things, you know, like you kind of got to put energy to it. And you know what I mean? I think Nick is kind of putting the energy towards what he wants. You know what I mean? I haven't asked him if he wants to rematch him again, but you know, I definitely think that's on his radar. And, if the cards fall right, it'll be a great opportunity for him.
That would be something else. I mean, that would be the story. That's almost like the movie ending, right? That's almost like the full circle story of the Nick Newell. I mean, I think James Vick is an even tougher opponent than Ali Quinta. I think just the matchup just seems like it's going to be very difficult for Gaethje. What do you think about that, Vick versus Gaethje?
Well, I mean, like what Gaethje has is a pace and a phenomenal will. Ali Quinta is kind of a bull-nosed guy that kind of comes forward, has good footwork. But James Vick, he's tricky. He's got the long distance. He's really slick on the ground. So this is a very interesting fight. I haven't really thought about it too much, but it's a very interesting fight.
Now, what do you think about the UFC 226 this weekend? I mean, the top 3 are bangers. Let's just go through them real quick. NGANNOU versus the Black Beast. Who you got in that fight?
Well, it's a toss-up, really, you know what I mean? But I have NGANNOU with the explosive power aspect. But I would say Derrick Lewis, over his last couple of fights, he showed that he's a little bit more well-rounded than we thought. He's not just a slugger. He can do some slight wrestling, do some grappling, but it's kind of, if it goes past the second round, I think Derrick Lewis has the upper hand, but NGANNOU still has 2 fists. You know what I mean? 2 fists and kicks. He threw a kick the last Stipe Miocic fight, so he might have had that. And looking at him, meeting him in person, he looks definitely a little bit trimmer. Definitely his muscle mass is decreased a little bit, so some of his explosiveness could have transferred to his agility. And, he could definitely pose a different threat. Definitely has been seeing videos of him wrestling. So hopefully, what I want to see is a great match between both of them, where they both show their different facets of MMA. Because we both know that they can knock each other out.
Sure.
What we don't know is, do they have really good jiu-jitsu or do they have really good wrestling? So, we know NGANNOU didn't have really good wrestling because he got taken down by Stipe Miocic, but hopefully improve that, and we can see some development in both of them. Does he live at the facility? Are they just breeding him at the facility? What is that about? Well, no, I know he trains at Couture. I think he trains mostly at Extreme Couture.
Okay.
But he does a lot of work in the Performance Institute. I think it's more for publicity. They can actually see what he's doing, video it, get angles that they want, and kind of feed it out there just to develop kind of the I was thinking about it, this facility is kind of set up to where the camera can be in a certain spot and they can get good shots. So I think also, as well as it's there to help the fighters, it's definitely a good video place where you can shoot video, take pictures, and get great angles wherever you go. So I think that's one of the main factors in them making that institute.
That institute looks like it's ridiculous. Would you want to train there? So say now you're going to get into the UFC after the Contender Series, of course. Now, are you going to pick up and say, okay, I'm going to go over to this facility and visit this place as much as possible? Would you like to do that in the future? Yeah, probably 2, maybe 3 days, if that. Vegas is all right. I'm not going to say anything bad about it, but just my experience, it's kind of not my vibe. The people are there are cool, but I just saw a little part. There might be. I would definitely like to go explore, like the mountains or hiking and all that other stuff. But around the strip is kind of not my style. So you're not down with hookers and blow? No. Yeah, Vegas is a dangerous place, and yeah, you probably should stay far away. Unless you're fighting there, then it's a different story, right? Then it's a different story. Let's talk about the main event. We are live with Justin the Fort Sumter fighting July 31st on the Contender Series. Cannot wait. Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier. What people are saying is a super fight at heavyweight. Daniel Cormier is walking around at a bigger size. Some say he's actually bigger than Stipe right now. He's a big bloated mess. What do you think about Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic?
Well, I think Daniel is a phenomenal athlete, and I mean, in the strike force, he showed that heavyweight really doesn't matter, and he dominated. Also, he went down to 205 and he dominated. So this is kind of Stipe's call to greatness.
I'm gonna wrap one on one shoulder. I'm gonna wrap you
Hold on,
on
we got
the
a
other
donation
shoulder,
coming in.
and you're gonna need a fucking army to come take that belt off me.
That is definitely not T-Man. That's definitely not T-Man. The fuck? Oh my god. So T-Man, I don't even know what to say there. Anyway, Justin, guy, go back to the fuck was
What
that?
happened? My screen's not on.
Yeah, you watch it back on the replay. I don't even know.
There's no way that was T-Man.
Someone is pretending that they are. I don't even. Listen, it is what you're gonna have to watch the replay on that one. Anyway, Justin, go back to DC versus Stipe as I completely got thrown over my game.
Yeah. So I think this is Stipe's call to greatness because I mean he's a great fighter. This fight is because we already know Daniel Cormier is great, and he's trying to further prove that with this fight against Stipe. One thing that we're gonna have to look for is we know Daniel can take a punch, especially at heavyweight, because he fought like Bigfoot Silva and all those other guys that are great strikers that are heavy hitters. But going against Stipe is also a decent wrestler himself. I was watching videos. He had Coleman in his corner with Ryan Bader working on wrestling techniques, wrestling defenses. So if he's able to withstand a takedown from Cormier, I think there's a better chance. But if Cormier is able to take him down with ease, I think it's gonna Cormier is definitely gonna be the victor.
There you go. Yeah, I'm feeling heavy on Cormier. I don't know what it is. I mean, Stipe is a beast, and he does have that wrestling. But I mean, God, Cormier undefeated at heavyweight, and I like Daniel Cormier. I'm a big fan. I'm a closet Daniel Cormier fan. Not as big a fan as you, Justin, of course. You're I'm your number one fan. It's like misery. Anyway, all right, Justin, it was good to have you back on. Come back whenever you would like. Right before you jump onto the Contender Series, feel free to jump back in on the MMA-Holes. Let us know. Give us an update. And if we don't speak to you by then, good luck on the show, July 31st. I cannot wait for the fight. Any last words? Give a shout out to sponsors, the Fort T-shirts, whatever is out there. Let us know right now.
Yeah, so you guys can check out all my sponsors on my shirt. I should have the mock-up coming up sometime this week. You can go to my Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook and check those shirts out. They're $25 a piece. You can hit me up on Venmo, PayPal, whatever is your convenient. If you live in Connecticut, you can meet up and give me cash, whatever. I got On Point Crowd Therapy, On Point Chiropractic, Gracie Medical, Twin River, Twin Lights Repair Shop, Redwood Coast, Shoreline Family Chiropractic, On Point Chiropractic. I know I'm missing a couple. Instant Muscle Mills, Wash and Wag. There's probably more. I'll shoot you in a message and you can put it in the comments.
Yes, send me whatever you need and I'll drop it in the comment section for sure.
Yeah, and also shout out to PG Sports. They've been making some really dope gear. It says Blood, Sweat, and Success. They're a company out in Northeast that helps guys out, making them their own shirts and stuff like that. So they're pretty cool. Shout out to my fiance, the most wonderful person in the world. It's actually her birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
So they say happy birthday. She said thanks. But and appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys for following me along my way and having me as that first guest and having me be the first person in the well, have you got somebody? Yeah, you got Catch. Yeah.
Well, I got to say this. We are building a new studio. We're putting a new studio together. So those horrible donations that come in, we're going to turn it around. The first in-house guest in that studio, we want the Fort. We want the Fort first in-house guest. So, Justin, we're going to hold a seat for you, and we can talk about your victory at the Contender Series. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, Justin, good luck. We'll talk to you soon, and go get him. Justin the Fort Sumter, live on the MMA-Holes. What do you guys think about that? Justin Sumter fighting on the Contender Series. He went to the Performance Institute. It is wonderful, wonderful. And I had a million technical difficulties tonight, Jessie. You saw it behind the scenes, what just happened there. I don't even know what happened. OBS is fucked up. Everything's fucked up. Everything. But we got to talk to the Fort, and I am so excited about July 31st. What do you think about that, the Contender Series?
No, I'm extremely excited. In fact, that's probably one of the biggest episodes, aside from the Shevchenko one, like you mentioned. I think that's one of the biggest ones a lot of MMA holes are going to be looking forward to, because it is, one of the first guests, or the first guest, correct?
Yeah,
the
Justin Sumter.
Guest.
So yeah, there are a lot of new people watching. Justin the Fort Sumter, I'll never forget. We did it on a Google Hangouts. Our show was just on a Google Hangouts. It was literally a shitty backdrop, and I got a call from my friend Louis Serrano, who was like, "You got to get Justin. I got a fighter for you. He's a pro fighter. I think he was at the time he was 3-1. I think I'm pretty sure he was 3-1 or 2-1 at the time. And his first fight was a loss at Bellator. He went pro and went straight to Bellator, and he was young and he caught a loss. He came on the MMA Holes, and I was like, oh my god, I was so nervous. I'm like a pro fighter on the show, and we hit it off. We talked for about 2 hours. We had a 2-hour conversation, hit it off, and he went on to win every fight since then. The only fighter to break the MMA Holes curse, running through his opponents, and making quick work of 5 of his 6 fights. His 5th fight went a decision, but it was a tough one, and he dominated unanimously. So Justin gets a shot at the Contender Series, and this is a little special for us because we grew with the Fort. The channel grew with the Fort, so we have a little bit of an allegiance with him, and I will be on the edge of my seat with that fight. And how nervous are you going to be, Jessie?
I'm not nervous. I think he's got it. I think he's a good fighter. I think Nick Newell has a lot of power behind him as well. I don't think there's going to be much competition between the two. I'm not nervous. I think he's got what it takes. And he seems confident, He does. He seems very confident. Now, I do want to talk about this. Before we went live, we did look over at his opponent, right? And it's Ian Heinisch, and Justin was very confident about this. This guy's 10-1, right? You look at his stats, and he comes in as pro 8 in a row, wins 8 in a row. And look at this, okay? KO, unanimous, submission, unanimous, submission, right? The guy doesn't lose a round. It's ridiculous. The guy is just he's just a win machine. Then he catches a loss over here, okay? He catches a loss to another undefeated fighter that was 8-0, right? Marcus Perez. Let's look at this Marcus Perez guy. All right, so this is the only guy that put a beating on him, a Brazilian guy. He's 10-1-0. Let's see what his and he's fighting in the UFC. So there you go, right? He's fighting in the UFC. So his one loss is to a beast over here that has just got going into the UFC. So you got to think this guy Ian, the UFC's looking at, right? You have to think that. But now you bring in the Fort and Justin Sumter at 6'2" with a 9 to 10 inch reach advantage on the guy. He's no slouch. Chat room, what do you think? Who will win this fight? Will our friend Justin the Fort Sumter be the victor, or will his opponent across the way, Ian Heinisch, who I have a feeling the UFC, I don't know, there's something about this guy. This just has UFC written all over him, right? So I'm having a feeling that this is the guy that they're pushing for. Can Justin the Fort Sumter get past him? I say yes, Jessie. What do you say? Yes.
There you go. Yes, sir. What do you say in the chat, the live chat? We're going to do some topics, and then we're going to wind this shit down. This is the Monday show, the MMA Holes Hour. What do you say in the chat right now? And we didn't play this. We got 20 likes.
20 likes, 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. 20 likes, 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. 20 likes, 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. I hope the dislikes die of leprosy.
Dislikes dying of leprosy. Topics are about to start soon. Let's see. The Fort got it locked down. Says Drunk Savage. Hit the song twice. 40 likes. Not yet. We got 35. Make sure you like the shit out of this video. And H says, yes, yes, yes. David Flores says, fook that guy. So he says, fook that guy. The Can Sumter all the way says Wade Wilson. By the way, we know that wasn't T-Man. So T-Man, if you are watching, we know that wasn't you.
have a feeling I know who it was, but thank you for the donation regardless. Yes, the fort to be victorious is Gary. Yamasaki says, hey, Chris, I've got a fat sister who thinks you're cute. What you say, buddy? Give it a shot. Non-whites are the planet's losers, and white people better wake up and take back our future. This is Last Stand.
Wonderful, wonderful.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you for that team of what am I talking about? Let's see. Ortega L DCL says Trevor A. Dan from Morgan says Tito versus Chuck. Man, fight of the year. All right, let's do the topics.
Dan, stop talking.
Why is that?
It's in topics.
Okay. Let's go. Topic time. Topics. All right. Let's go, motherfuckers. We're going to run through topics over here. What do you got, JBH?
All right, I guess we're doing Chuck Liddell first.
Well, I mean, Dan, I thought that was a segue, but all right. What do you got?
It's okay, we'll do that one. Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz has been scheduled to take place for the Golden Boy Promotions. This will be the third fight that these two will engage in. There were who was it? Oscar De La Hoya, the CEO of Golden Boy Promotions, had told ESPN that he signed them both. This was something that was teased for a little while. There was even an Instagram post not too long ago that was teasing the idea, but we didn't hear much of it. And now it has been confirmed. Oscar De La Hoya has come out to the public and said this is exactly what's going to happen. So, Dan, fight of the year or no?
I'm going to say no. But with that being said, I think the Golden Boy promotion, what is the promotion to do it under? So I'm actually kind of pumped that's going to be under Golden Boy. I like that there's new players in the game, more players in the game with MMA. We did a poll on our community over here, and it went both ways. Let's see. I can't wait to hear the trash talk. I'm starting to feel like it's 2006 all over again. This is Robert Rodriguez. It's going to be on pay-per-view, plus or minus 100 buys. Answer Trisket in the chat. What do you guys think? I think Chuck will win, though he is still a savage. Tito can only win a decision or TKO. I may be wrong, but that's what I think, says Jared Nipper. And you can see all of these peeps over here on our community saying who do they think. Let me know in the chat. Who do you got? Who do you got? Do you have... hold on a second. Jesus Christ. I'm losing everything over here. Do you have Chuck or do you have Tito for the win? I'm going to have to go with Tito in this one.
I agree. I have to go with Tito as well. Chuck Liddell has lost or retired with 5 losses on his last 6 fights in his career. So I'm definitely going to go with Tito on this one.
I want Chuck to win again. I want him to win again. But for some reason, when Tito beat Chael, and I don't know, I just feel, listen, they both are old and decrepit, and it's a ridiculous fight right now.
I don't think it's ridiculous only because it is a historic rivalry. You know, like there were 2 different fights. UFC 47, I believe, and 66. So it is historic. It's kind of like Nate Diaz versus Conor, right? They're both historic. It's a historic rivalry.
Well,
you kind of do want to see it.
It's something on a different level. You got 2 legends over here. You got 2 legends of the sport. Whether you like Tito or not, I mean, Chuck's a legend for God's sakes. But Tito's been around. He's a warrior. He's been around for a long time, and he's had some significant wins in his career. Chuck Liddell, beast mode. You know, listen, it's nostalgic. Is it the best fight of all time right now at this stage? No, but it is fun. It is fun. Let me see what the chat says. Legends, awesome to see. You watch your fucking mouth. I'm going with Chuck's is facts. Legend, LOLG. Come on, Tito tapped against Chael. So, you know what? I wanted to go with that too because I was rooting for Chael in that fight. But that fucking fight. The fight, I don't know. And then Chael it was just such a bizarre ending. Chucky says, Ann H., the bad boy gets it done in a sloppy slobber knocker of a brawl that lives for the ages, says Dan from Oregon. No, I kind of don't want to see it, says EF. Chuck is a mummy. Chuck has 0 chin, says Jay Smooth. I watched Chuck get gassed on Big Brother, says Dave. Yeah, I heard he was on Big Brother. I just can't get myself to watch that. All right, Jesse, what else is in the news?
What's in the news?
MMA-Holes.com.
All right, Pedro Munoz versus Brett Johns has been announced for UFC 227. This is important only because there are other fights on that card right now that people are definitely going to want to see. One of which is TJ Dillashaw and Demetrius Johnson defending their bouts against Cody Garbrandt and Henry Cejudo. This is going to be a bantamweight fight, as expected. Pedro Munoz.
I think Brett Johns came off of...
Munoz is he is riding a 4-fight winning streak. And Johns is trying to get back on track after his decision loss to Aljamain Sterling not too long ago.
Yeah, Aljo, surprisingly, to a lot of surprise, beat Johns, handed him his first L, and Aljo looked fantastic in that fight. But you know what, maybe Johns got exposed there. I think he got a little exposed. A lot of people on him. Wait, why did it say 15-0? He
15-1.
Yeah, this is wrong. UFC.com, how dare you? Let's see. Look, it's 15-0. Apparently, because Aljamain Sterling is an African American, they say, no, we're not going to put it on his record. That's it's unacceptable. Anyway, I don't know what that's about. But yeah, Brett Johns caught an L. UFC 227 is good, but it seems to be quite a letdown compared to UFC 226 and 225. Like, what a downslide. Now, Dillashaw versus Garbrandt, yeah, it's fire. Cejudo rematch is interesting because I thought Cejudo was going to win the first one. Maybe I'm crazy. The second one, I don't know anymore. Derek Brunson back in the cage. Actually, this is a good fight for Carlos Jr., Antonio Carlos Jr. That's actually interesting for him, this fight. But Cubs coming back. God. Yeah, let's not even talk about 227 right now. Let's just concentrate on Fight Week 226. We'll be talking about that more this week because it is Fight Week. What else is in the news, Jessie?
What's in the news? All right, Stipe Miocic, for the very first time, is happy with his UFC 226 payday. For those of you guys who do not remember, Stipe Miocic, during his last fight against Francis Ngannou a couple months ago, took the belt out of Dana White's hands, gave it to his coach in order to place the belt around his waist when he won. And this was mainly because of altercation between him and Dana White, the UFC, in regards to how much he was getting paid. Ngannou was over-promoted during that fight. Stipe still ended up maintaining that title. So now he says that he and Dana White talked it out. They're on good terms now. He understands because the UFC was trying to transition over to ESPN. There was a lot of business going on, a lot of money being moved. They couldn't put that type of payday on Stipe at the time, but now Stipe understands they're on good terms. Stipe is getting a very hefty payday. He did say this would be the best payday that he has received since being in the UFC. So Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier is going to be a good fight for Stipe, win or lose, you know?
Yeah, and it's about time Stipe gets paid. I liked what he did. I love what he did with that whole Dana White thing. He's like, nah.
Now the question is this. Do you think now that Stipe and Dana White are on good terms in regards to the money, is Stipe again going to take the belt out of Dana's hand and give it to his coach?
No, I don't think he's going to do it again. Well, first of all, he's going to lose. So the belt is going to be out of his hand.
In theory, he wins.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he would do that?
No, I don't think so. I think he's probably happy now.
Mm-hmm.
I would say he's happy now, and he would let it happen. Or Dana White could be a dick and be like, go ahead, let someone else put it on.
No, I completely agree. And Isaiah Moore said it too. There's no reason to. There's no reason for him to be spiteful towards Dana now. Yeah. Unless there is something else that is continuing to go on behind the scenes that we are unaware of. But I can't see that happening since during his interview he was very relaxed. He was very chill.
Stipe, and listen, I'm a Stipe fan. I've picked Stipe in his last God knows how many fights. I've always picked Stipe. This is the first time that I'm just jumping ship and going to DC because for some reason, I have that feeling that DC is going to pull it off. And Stipe, he's fun, man. It's a very likable fighter. Both fighters. It's going to be a tough one to watch because I like both of them. The one thing I did notice about Stipe is when he's being interviewed, it's quite interesting because he's just stuttering. He's the stuttering champ.
He's a nervous speaker. But in fairness, we aren't exactly that nervous on this show, and we still stutter. So it could be a speech impediment.
I don't know what you're talking
maybe
about.
we all just have speech impediments.
Nah, never stutter. I'm a goddamn celebrity over here. So my likes are broken. Look at that. My likes are broken. How about that? Tonight's been so fucking weird. Everything has not working. I don't understand why, but now it is working, and we got 44 likes, so let's do it. 20 likes!
20 likes!
Ah, yes!
20 likes!
20!
20 likes! 20 likes! I've got fucking
20 likes.
20 likes.
Die of leprosy. How about that? EF jumping in says JBH looks like a slick, sexy female character from a Tim Burton flick. This the rare time I disagree with you, Chris. Chris Fukoff.
EF. I don't know what the last
dare you.
part of that comment meant, but thank you for
Yeah, I don't know either, but thank you for the comment. Okay, what else is in the news?
What's in the
Jessie.
Francis Ngannou, since we are talking about UFC 226 this week, as it is fight week, I hope everybody is ready and pumped up for the super fight, says that he has all of the advantages over Derrick Lewis for this upcoming fight. He was asked whether or not he thought he had advantages over Derrick Lewis and which ones he thought he had, and he literally said all of them. He did not hesitate to say all of them. In quotes, he said, of what you can imagine, I think I have all that over him. He said, I knocked out Andrei Arlovsky because he's old. He was 37. Mark Hunt was 43 when he beat Derrick Lewis. Hunt made him quit. I think Lewis just doesn't know what he's saying, and I can agree completely.
So what do you guys think about that? Francis Ngannou over Derrick Lewis. Now, I'm on the Lewis train, and listen, I think I should be in the minority here with the Lewis thing. I really do. I think Francis Ngannou is going to be the favorite in this fight. In fact, let me look over here. I think he should be the favorite, but I like Derrick Lewis. This is the fight card where maybe you don't want to go with Mystic Moss because Mystic Moss is going on his favorite. There's two of his faves, on this card, and it is Ngannou. I mean, it is Derrick Lewis and it is Daniel Cormier, and I ride or die with these two. So the Black Beast over here, odds-wise, he's a plus 300. Wow. Take Lewis on this one. That's money right there. Let's see. Cormier is a plus 208. Two unders I love. Take him. Take him home. Take him home. What do you guys say in the chat? What do you think about that? Ngannou a minus 365. Lewis a plus 300. Interesting. Who do you guys have? The Black Beast or Francis Ngannou? Myself and Jessie are split. Jessie has
Francis Ngannou.
And I have the Black Beast. So let me know in the chat what you guys say. Jesus Christ. Are you going to do something? Okay.
No, I was just going to say Francis Ngannou.
All right, good.
Well, I can't now. It's not as fun.
Okay. Let's see. Black Beast is Almond Brothers. Embarrassing for her. Dan from Oregon. The people in the chat are talking about not the MMA-Holes, the second channel. If you want to see what they're talking about, go subscribe to Not the MMA-Holes. Alcohol, intoxication, and some things about the community. Secrets were exposed. I think Francis will make proper adjustments. I lean with Francis's Isaiah Moore. I got NGANNOU, says Vlad. Black Beast, all the way, says Drunk Savage. Brock, says Brian Royer. Double KO, J Smooth, B Beast. Sean Hart, Black Beast. Lewis has cardio and drops bombs, Glenn Fukin Allen. Beast, Philip V. Yamasaki says, these are two guys I would hate to be sellies with. That's a good point. I wouldn't want to be sellies with these two either. If you guys missed it, Justin the Fort Sumter came on the MMA-Holes. Wind it back, run it back. Let me know in the comments section what you think about the Fort being on the Contender Series July 31st. How many topics do we have left over here? One topic left, so this is what we're going to do. We have saved the show over there with 5 minutes are going to be on the clock. Once the 5 minutes are done, well, that's it. The show is over. But you can save the show. Now, here's how it works. Marky Wahoo last week saved the show, and he donated, what, $4.20?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, it was a $4.20 donation, and each donation, the donation that comes in, the amount that you donate is the minutes that will continue the show. The last time was 4 minutes and 20 seconds. How many minutes, if someone donates, will we continue the show, Jessie? What do you say?
30 minutes.
30? You think someone's going to drop in some Connor steak?
I believe it.
Let's see. All right, well, we'll find out. If you want some more show, drop in a donation under 5 minutes over here. Here we go. The clock has begun. One more topic. Maybe we could squeeze one phone call in. This is the MMA-Holes Hour, and we're going over a little bit because we had technical difficulties. But now is the time for you to save the show. First donation that comes in, that amount will be the minutes that we continue this show. Let's go.
Wonderful.
Jessie, what's the last topic on the show?
Junior Dos Santos, for those of you guys who are unaware, has been busted by USADA not too long ago, and he admits, after being cleared, that he is still scared of USADA, saying, quote, "I won't say it doesn't bother me." So, to start, Junior Dos Santos was innocent. He did not intentionally take any performance-enhancing drugs, but he did test positive, and they ended up finding that his supplements were tainted, blah, 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 you know, typical shit. But he says that he is still nervous about it because of how long it took for USADA to come out with the results and the notion that he was cleared. Usually it wouldn't have taken that long, but because of the amount that they found in there, they had to be sure that he wasn't indeed tricking them or doing any kind of foolery or anything like that to pass himself off as innocent. Now that he is innocent and he is continuing, you know, whatever he's doing, he says that he is still nervous about it because what happens if he takes another tainted supplement by accident? You know, what happens if USADA busts him again and this time they don't clear him because they think that he tricked them into it the first time around? And I can't blame him. I honestly can't blame Junior Dos Santos for being nervous about that, especially given how long it took and the fact that he didn't even know he was taking tainted supplements in the first place. Anyone who does things by the book, like Junior Dos Santos, anyone who performs in a sport exactly how he's supposed to and then gets busted for something that he didn't know that he was supposed to get busted for, yeah, I can't blame him for being nervous. I can't blame him at all.
Well, this is why I'm going to go with Junior Dos Santos. I think he's full of shit.
No?
Yeah, Dos Santos. I think he's full of shit.
What's that?
I do. Well, first of all, he's Brazilian, right? That's
That
what I'm going to
means
go with
nothing.
right there. No, it's very true. Like, these Brazilians are shady as fuck, right? Let's be honest. What's going on? Like, if you think about it, you look at some of the Brazilians, there's a lot of suspect things going on there.
Right.
Now, one of my favorite fighters of all time, Anderson the Spider Silva. The guy can't fucking stay clean, right? And the guy's the GOAT to me. I love the guy. He's the guy that got me into the sport. And I still respect him as an athlete. But let's be honest, he's always linked to this stuff. People are questioning Jose Aldo, who
Right.
hasn't really been caught, but Machida, you know? You got
Machida's in Bellator now. So, like you said, even though
Stellator.
they do,
It's the steroid tour.
even though they do the testing, they're not as harsh on it, I guess. And Machida's chances, his likelihood of getting caught again are slim to none. So, just imagine Junior Dos Santos goes to Bellator.
Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Is Junior Dos Santos speaking truth or speaking out of his hiney? But I don't know. The filthy animals Chris remembers is Robert Rodriguez. No, I'm not going to go there. I mean, I'm not going to go full-blown
I will
Colby
say
Covington.
This. I'll say this. And you have every right to believe that he is bullshitting. I have the same feelings about John Jones. I think he's complete bullshit. But I will say, before you make a decision as to whether or not he's bullshitting everyone, I want them to read the article that is on the MMAHoles.com. It's pinned. Read the article. There are quotes of the interview verbatim, you know, through and through. Just see what he has to say. I believe him. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have believed him before I read that article. The moment I read it and I read what he had to say, it's pretty believable that he could indeed be innocent.
All right, so you're saying Dos Santos is telling the truth. Let me know in the chat. We only have 1 minute left in the show. Will there be someone that saves the show, Jessie? What do you think?
Yes.
You think someone's actually going to save the show now?
I believe it because right now I am channeling someone. They know who they are. I am telepathically channeling you to save the show. They can feel it. I know they can feel it. We just connected right now.
Well, they don't have much time left, Jessie. There is 45 seconds left, and we're going to
You know
shut this
who
thing
you
down.
are.
And if he doesn't know who he is, well, the show is over. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subbed. We're going to be live Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday. That's right. Not Wednesday because it's 4th of July, so we're not going to be live for that. But we will be live for Tuesday, the Contender Series. On Thursday, the PFL. Friday, we're going to be live for Fuqua Friday, and it's going to be a hybrid. It's going to be a Fuqua Friday / The Ultimate Fighter Finale Fight Buddies, and UFC 226 will be live for that. Arguably, one of the biggest nights for the MMA Holes will be UFC 226. Jessie, you're wrong because there's 7 seconds left in
telling me no.
the show. And
He's telling me no.
yeah, he's like, no, he's not going to do that. All right, here we go. No one's saving the show. So that's it.
Nobody's saving the show.
No more show. Thank you for watching.
Wait,
We'll see-
Two Joint says he can save the show.
It's too late.
Too late,
All right,
Two
thanks for
Joints.
watching. I do appreciate it. We'll be live tomorrow for the Contender Series. If you missed Justin the Fort Sumter, run it back. Justin the Fort Sumter fighting for the Contender Series July 31st. Nick Newell the week before. So that's going to be fun stuff. Jessie, last words.
Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA hole.